welcome back to 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒅𝒔. Today we got Hurricane Hertz featuring the new Dragonite V-STAR from Pokemon Go with a super cool Draconic Star attack, allowing you to look at the top 12 cards of your deck and attach any number of water or lightning energy you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. It is a V-STAR power, that means you only get to use it once per game. It can also do Giga Impact for 250 damage for 1 water, 1 lightning, and 2 colorless. But for this deck, we're focusing on the V-STAR power to get as much energy into play as fast as possible for Boltund to do massive damage with Bolt Storm. So this is an OHKO strategy. We're trying to kill a V-STAR or VMAX with 1 strike with the powerful Bolt Storm attack, and all we need is 10 lightning energies attached to all of our Pokemons in play. So in order to increase the number of lightning energies we're attaching with our V-STAR attack, we have our Peony and Adventurous Discovery to get those Pokemon and trainer cards out of the way. And that's gonna help you secure at least 7 or 8 lightning energies with that 1 V-STAR power. We're also playing 2 copies of Lumineon to get our supporter cards, 3 Quick Balls, 2 Stormy Mountain, and 1 VIP Pass for the basic summon, plus 2 Incense for the evolution. We can also summon our V-STAR, VMAX, and even our V-Basic with Adventurous Discovery and Peony. So our supporter cards is helping us set up our bench early, evolve fast, and to compress our deck, essentially increasing the energy ratio inside the deck for us to max out on the number of energies we're attaching with Draconic Star. And we need a lot of our Switch just because Dragonite cannot attack after using Giga Impact. So we're playing 2 copies of Switch, 2 Escape Rope, and 2 Peony to search for them. We're also playing 1 copy of Manaphy for Bench Barrier, 1 Canceling Cologne for Miltank, 1 Boss Order for extra power play, and 1 eiscue with a special block face attack preventing all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. Finally, we have 25 basic lightning energies and 4 basic water. So that's all for the deck list, and if you guys are in need of any specific cards or packs for your own PTCG account, feel free to contact our sponsor from X-Trainer90 team for the best price in Pokemon TCG online codes. You can contact them through the links in the description below, or you can click on the top right corner of this video. They even got complete personal decks you could purchase, full art, secret rare gold cards to add to your collection, and packs from any expansion in format. Brilliant Stars, Astro Radiance, Rebel Clash, you name it. And now let's go for gameplay! Okay, let's go for our first game versus Mewtwo V-STAR with our Dragonite V-STAR deck. Both Pokemon Go V-STARs. Very interesting matchup because we actually get to play the new V-STAR against the other V-STAR. So we got our Draconic Star to get as much energy from the top 12 cards of the deck as we can into play. We want to be attaching as much lightning energy as we can. We only got 4 water energy in this list though, which is not really that good for Dragonite. But we're planning to attack as fast as possible with Bolt Storm, doing a 1-hit knockout early against V cards, against V-STARs. We cannot kill a VMAX that easily, unfortunately, because we are not able to attach up to 10 energies by our second turn. On the second turn, obviously, you can only evolve and use Draconic Star on your second turn. That means you're only able to attack with Bolt Storm on your third. If you got a Peony from the top deck, or if you have it on the last turn, a Quick Ball for Lumineon, you can actually search for your switch card using your Peony. And that helps you switch to your Boltund to do up to 280 damage, 270 my bad, 270 damage for your first strike, 300 if you have 9 energies attached to your Pokemon, 9 lightning energies. If you have water energy, it does not count. Bolt Storm only adds 30 for each lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So that's why we have so many lightnings, only 4 water, which is not doing that well for Dragonite. But if you get it at just the right time, if you attach a lot of lightning, chances are you're going to get your water energy from top deck. We don't actually have any way of searching for that specific energy. So if they play Crushing Hammer, we can't attack with Dragonite. If they play Crushing Hammer on eiscue, we actually got screwed over that way against a 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔 Miltank deck. I almost won against 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔 Miltank. Almost got to record that video, but they actually played a Crushing Hammer at the last minute, discarding our water energy on our eiscue. It would have been so cool to showcase that card though, because we almost won against 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔. We get to use it only once to block our opponent's Miltank from damaging eiscue for 1 turn, and then on their next they did a research Crushing Hammer to discard their water energy, and we couldn't find another one, and that's why we had to like retreat and attack with I think we attacked with Shred. We used Shred. The other Dragonite can do 50 damage against any Pokemon because it ignores all effects of attacks on opponent's active Pokemon. So Shred does a raw damage against Miltank, against Decidueye, against any card. Anything that does like damage reduction as well, it gets to do a raw 50 damage. That's why we have the other Dragonite in this deck. There we go, that one from Evolving Skies. So I would actually recommend having 5 water energy, but just to make it more dramatic in terms of doing a knockout fast with our Boltund, I want to fit in as much lightning as we can. As much lightning as possible is delicious, just because that helps Boltund do a lot of damage. So attaching water to Dragonite actually means you are doing a lot less damage with Boltund later. So always be sure to attach a lightning to any of your Pokemon, even Dragonite. I know that you need your water for Dragonite to attack, and they could quite easily play a Marnie to put that water energy back at the bottom on the next turn. But it's always best practice to attach lightning energy to your Pokemon every single turn from your hand. If you have a lightning energy in your hand, always attach it to your Pokemon. Don't do your water. Only do your water attachment at the last minute, because we want to be attacking with Boltund. Obviously, you have to study the situation. You have to watch what your opponent is playing. If they are playing a one-price deck, obviously you should be attacking with Dragonite as well. If they're playing, you know, a low HP V-Star Pokemon like 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔, you can actually do a knockout with Giga Impact. So we are not playing Choice Belt for this deck. That is why the best practice is to attach lightning energy from your hand every single turn. Because essentially it means that we are attacking, our main attacker is Boltund. We want to be doing Bolt Storm first before we attack with any other card. And that actually means we need to do switch for our first strike. Just because Dragonite has 2 energy retreat. We got 2 escape rope, 2 switch, and 2 Peony to surf though. So it's not too difficult. Peony helps us get Lumineon helps us get search for Peony. Peony helps us draw out our switch cards and possibly our boss or Adventurous Discovery for the next turn. So this deck is pretty cool in terms of the trainer cards that we are playing is a very different sort of arrangement than the usual TCG format for standard, especially because we don't have research, no Marnie, no Birdkeeper, none of the regular supporter cards, not even Raihan or Melanie. So normally you see Dragonite being played with Melanie, obviously, because it's a water for V Pokemon. But I kind of want to feature a lightning, I want to center this deck around a lightning combo. So Boltund is here, and we want to make it shine as much as we can with our Draconic Star. And here comes Mewtwo. I actually made a bit of a blunder attaching a lightning energy to the active just now. We shouldn't be attaching to the active because they could do a knockout quite easily with the Mewtwo. Mewtwo can kill Dragonite with 1 hit already this turn if they have the energy switch. They actually need the energy switch still. So Pokestop is helping them draw out their item cards, their Evolution Incense, Choice Belt, Energy Switch, Fog Crystal. Is helping them draw all the items from the top 3 cards of the deck. It also helps to discard Psychic Energy as well. So if they have Psychic Energy on the top 3 cards of the deck, they get to discard it. So Pokestop is really good if you want to discard cards from your deck. If you're playing Mad Party, for example, or if you're playing a lot of item cards in your deck as well. I've seen people play Dialga V-Star Mew with Pokestop, which is actually quite smart because you're playing so many items. You're playing your Scuba Net, your Metal Saucer, your what else? Tracking Shoes, and your Cross Switcher. That's a lot of item cards that you get to play with your Pokestop. But if you discard your V-Star though, you're gonna have to fit in your Poke Rods, your Ordinary Rods, your Clara, you know, things to shuffle back your Pokemon cards and your energy, just so you get to replenish your resources, especially your Pokemon. Otherwise, you cannot attack with your Star Chronos. So if you discard your main attacker, the thing that you need, then you can't actually attack. You need some way of reviving those cards. So there's always a downside to every stadium that you play, to every tech that you want to pull off. There's always a downside. And we actually played Escape Rope, and they gave us an Alcremie. So it's a very interesting deck. They have no Howlucha. Howlucha actually helps them collect a VMAX knockout with their Purge. Purge does 270 max damage, plus 30 more with that Choice Belt, and another 30 with Howlucha. That's enough for a VMAX knockout across the board. Most VMAXs has 330 HP or less, for a regular VMAX, unless if they're playing Eternatus VMAX or Snorlax VMAX. Those are the only two, if I'm not mistaken, that has 340 HP. If they play Big Charm on their VMAX though, or if they play a Abomasnow for their single strike VMAX, then you can't actually kill them that easily. But if they play single strike, chances are they have damage counters on themselves already. So if they play a Abomasnow with single strike Roar, they are damaging themselves at the same time. So it doesn't really, you don't really have to worry too much about Abomasnow, unless if they are playing Metal Saucer for Duraludon and Abomasnow, then you can't actually, you know, do a one-hit knockout. And they're playing Horror Energy, which is really cool because I actually have Horror Energy for my list as well. So no Howlucha means they are forced to play a different set, a different list to ensure a one-hit KO, because Mewtwo cannot one-shot a VMAX. They're only doing a max of 320 HP. Sorry, a max of 300 damage, but they have that one Horror Energy for the extra damage counter. Just to secure a knockout more, you know, to make it more certain that they get to do a one-hit knockout against a VMAX. They actually are playing Alcremie VMAX with a GMAX Whisk attack, doing unlimited damage for each psychic energy you discarded. So you get to do 60x damage for each psychic energy discarded for your Pokemon, and the amount of damage the amount of energies you get to discard is unlimited. You get to discard as much as you want, whereas for Mewtwo you only get to discard up to 3, doing 90x damage for each discarded. So it's definitely more powerful than Alcremie, just because it's the same energy cost. Attack cost wise is actually less, because it requires 1 Psychic and 1 Colorless. Alcremie requires 2 Psychic. Or 2 Fairy. So we actually did a boss on the last turn and killed the V-Star, which is pretty cool. Now we're down to 2 prizes remaining. They have 6 prizes, but they are killing the VMAX right now. So they're down to 3 prizes on the next turn, which is pretty scary, because we're only collecting 1 prize, and I don't think we can kill the V-Star on the next turn. If they evolve the Mewtwo and attack with Psy-Purge, killing a Dragonite V-Star, I don't think we have a counter against that, because we have no Choice Belt to kill the Mewtwo. We have no Boltund on the bench, so we have to attack with this Dragonite right now. Because they're playing Evolution, they have a V-Star. Eiscue is not doing anything. Let's just attack with Giga Impact. We have a switch card in our hand. We got no more Boltund, unfortunately, so it may be better to play like Hisuian Heavy Ball, because I'm pretty sure the other Boltund is prized. Oh, it's actually inside the deck, but we have no way of searching for it, because we already played our Lumineon twice, and I suppose we did Peony twice instead of the Adventurous Discovery. So we chose to bench our Manaphy, which is actually going to help us later. I didn't realize that when I played this game, but we decided to bench the Manaphy, expecting them to play something like a Articuno, because they're playing so many Psychic Energy. They may just play like Clara for Articuno, and then, you know, Psy Laser for 120 damage. But they actually did Star Raid. You know, they could do Star Raid, because if they don't get their Choice Belt, they're not doing a knockout this turn. Might as well do Star Raid. And Manaphy actually blocks them from hitting our bench. So they are trying to draw out their, Choice Belt, but they already discarded 2 copies. I'm pretty sure they have 3, that's why they're drawing so much this turn. They're drawing with Greninja, they're drawing with Trekking Shoes, and they actually decked themselves out. I'm so happy, because we could have actually lost this game if they got their Choice Belt. So that's the bad thing about Pokestop, is that you're discarding. Well, you actually get to put it into your hand though. I think we actually did a boss early. So we did our boss early thanks to Lumineon, I think. And we actually got a V-Star knockout for extra 2 prizes before they get to do their Psy-Purge, which is like so delicious, right? So they drew until they have 2 cards left inside the deck. And now they're doing concealed cards, and they got no rods, I don't think. I don't think they are playing rods for a Mewtwo deck. And they even have Experience Share for Lunatone. Very interesting. Certainly very interesting. Lunatone gets to do more and more. Well, if you have Choice Belt though, it's kind of the same thing, isn't it? Experience Share, Choice Belt is kind of the same thing, but if you do Experience Share on your Mewtwo, it's not going to do more damage. So I would actually prefer doing Choice Belt. You don't really need Experience Share though, you just need like Energy Switch. I would swap that card for an Energy Switch. It's much better. Experience Share is just trash, because your opponent could play Tool Scrapper, and you know it's not gonna work that well. So they got 0 cards left in the deck, and we actually won against Mewtwo V-Star because they decked themselves out with Pokestop. That's the bad thing about Pokestop. You're discarding too many. So I don't think Experience Share makes any sense because they are playing Soul Rock. Soul Rock actually helps them reattach to the Lunatone as well. And all they need is like Scuba Net for extra energies, and then Choice Belt is the same thing, isn't it? Unless if you are playing a lot of your Mewtwo V-Star, it actually makes a difference though. If you're playing like a lot of energies in your deck, and you actually get to attach more and more from your hand, you actually get to, you know, max out on your Soul Rock's ability, and then reattach from your active, once it gets knocked out, active Mewtwo, for each Mewtwo that you play. So for example, if you do 𝑐𝒫𝒆𝒔 twice, and then they knock out 2 of your Mewtwo, you get to reattach 2 energies onto your Lunatone with that 1 experience share. That is probably the only plus side of that tool card that I can see, but I don't think it really is worth it. I would prefer to play Energy Switch or more copies of Choice Belt, because it's more versatile. It actually works for all of your other Pokemons. If you play Experience Shot on your Mewtwo, it's not going to do more damage. It's not going to do a one-hit knockout for Arceus against Arceus, Dialga, Palkia. So many V-Stars has turned into 80 HP. Charizard V-Star as well. With Heat Energy, he's going to be mad. If they play Whimsicott with Big Charm, they get to prevent a knockout against 𝑐𝒫𝒆𝒔 if you don't play a Choice Belt. Okay, they did a Temple of Sinnoh. We have no special energy for this deck. We initially played Aurora Energy. So when I first built this deck, I had Aurora Energy for Dragonite to attack. And it actually helps you, it serves as both though. It serves as water and lightning. So it helps Dragonite attack. It also helps Boltund do more damage. But the tricky thing is that you don't get to attach it with your Draconic Star. You only get to attach lightning and water, and Aurora Energy is not considered as a type. It's not considered as any type of energy unless if it's attached to a Pokemon. So until you attach it from your hand, until you have it attached to your Pokemon, Aurora Energy serves as probably a colorless, right? It serves as a special energy. It has no color. Kind of the same as your other special energies, and special energy is going to get rotated out though. I have no idea what's happening. There's no more special energies. The last special energy that got released is Double Turbo. Double Turbo is the end of all special energies. Fusion Strike Energy, Single Strike, like Battle Styles, we have Single Strike, Rapid Strike, and then after that we have Fusion Strike Energy. And Brilliant Stars we have Double Turbo, and after that we got no more special energies. I think we have Treasure Energy for Chilling Rain. I'm not too sure. I forgot what Chilling Rain... I forgot what Treasure Energy, which set it's from. So we're up against a Arceus with Shaman. I think they got Shadow Rider as well. I'm not sure what they're playing, honestly. Arceus with Shaman and Shadow, probably. Okay, we didn't get a lot of energies for this game. Unfortunately, Draconic Star didn't work that well. We got only like 5 or 6. But right now we have 8 energies in play. Well, 7, my bad. So on the next turn we get to do 270 damage with Bolt Storm. I think this was a bit of a different list. We have 5 water energy and only 20, I think 23 lightning. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure how many lightning energies we have. So the final list has 25. We have 25 lightning for the final upgrade of this deck, and it's actually working really well with Draconic Star and Bolt Storm, obviously, for you to do a one-hit knockout. If you are playing against a one price, I don't think you stand a good chance, but since Dragonite is a new card, they're probably not going to match you up with, you know, one price deck that many times. If you play new cards, especially a V-Star card, they're probably going to give you a good luck, a good hand, and good matchups, because they probably want to promote their own business, right? for a period of time until it gets rotated, until it becomes out of season, until they no longer want, you know, to promote that card, until it's not in hype anymore. Okay, we got our escape rope. We're gonna leave our switch for the next turn, and we did our Bolt Storm for the Shaymin knockout. Better to deal with the Shaymin early, because they can actually do a lot of damage late stage. Shaymin is a beast. It can do a one-hit knockout. Once you draw like 3 or 4 prizes, it can do a lot of damage. Shaymin is crazy. 160 kills a Dragonite, right? So if you drew a 4 prize by killing 2 V-Stars, Shaymin can kill your Dragonite twice in a row. They can collect 2 Dragonite knockouts twice in a row, but you can actually kill a Shaymin with your Draconic, with your, what's it called again? Giga Impact. So turn in 50 is enough, because they got no Krigatune, they got no Big Charm. They could play like Starbirth or Big Charm though, you never know. So here comes the V-Star, a bit too late. We didn't get to attach Lightning Energy from our hand because we top decked a VMAX. We got a VMAX from the prize and a Quick Ball, I think. But we top decked, I'm not sure what we top decked, honestly. I think we attached 1 and it's still not enough. So that means we need to attach 2 more for a V-Star knockout. Well, we just need 1 more, my bad. We just need 1 more Lightning Energy. And if we top deck it, we get to kill the Arceus with 1 strike. If they do a boss on the Dragonite, they could actually kill it, but they decided not to. They did a research instead, because I think they were expecting a Choice Belt. Because if we do like a Peony for Choice Belt and Energy Search, we can actually kill them. But we don't actually have either of those cards. We have no Energy Search in this deck, no Choice Belt. That means Dragonite is not doing a knockout. It's better to play Choice Belt, but I prefer to make it to focus on Bolt Storm. I really want to make it like lightning centered. I don't know why, I just really love this combo. Sorry guys. It's just a personal preference, and it's really cool to showcase the V-Star attack. Showcase Draconic Star for Boltund to do a one-hit knockout. So I'm putting my best foot forward, trying my best to make this combo work, and the only way is to cut out those cards. Remove Choice Belt, remove Aurora Energy, remove Energy Search. None of those cards. And that helps Boltund charge up faster for a V-Star knockout for the first strike, and then a VMAX on the next strike. If they kill their Dragonite on the bench though with a boss, if they do a boss and one-shot your Dragonite, then you actually you're only doing up to 200 plus damage. You can't actually do a knockout anymore, because Boltund has much less energies attached on, like, you know, you have to discard those energies if they knock out your Pokemon. Okay, here comes Shadow Rider. They're playing Tornadus, they have Zacian. A lot of cards, a lot of decks play Miltank now. I don't know why. They have like 1 or 2 copies of Miltank in their deck. Even Dialga, Palkia, I have no idea why they just keep doing that. It's pretty strategic, it's pretty fun, but it's just annoying. Like, why are you doing that? Miltank wins the game. Is that stupid, right? Miltank is just stupid. So they're basically forcing you to add 1 prize cards into your deck. And we actually have only eiscue, which is not doing a knockout against Miltank. That's why we're playing Canceling Cologne, Escape Rope, Boss. We have 2 Escape Rope, 1 Boss, and a Canceling Cologne against that crazy Miltank. So we didn't have a Canceling Cologne, we didn't have a Cologne when we were up against a 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔. We got matched up against 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔 with Miltank, and we lost that game. That's why we didn't put it in this recording. Unfortunately, we lost. We almost won though, we got pretty close. But just because we don't have the Cologne, we lost. I think we almost won because of eiscue. We wanted to do our block phase to end the game, basically, because they need to do Escape Rope and a boss. They got a lot of boss in their deck, but I think they probably ran out of their Escape Ropes because they did a research. They used it pretty early in the game, so no more Escape Rope means they can't actually kill the block phase that easily. They can't kill eiscue. We just need to keep retreating and attacking as the active in the active spot and buy enough turns until the game ends. Because they can't attack with their basic. Like all of their basic Pokemon is doing 0 damage to eiscue. They can actually boss our bench though. If they have like 2 prize remaining, they can boss our Dragonite to kill it for the last 2 prize, right? But I think they have 3 prize remaining, so it's a bit and 1 boss remaining. So the way they actually got through, they got the win by doing a crushing hammer. They destroyed us with a energy discard because eiscue requires a water and 2 colorless, and discarding that water is actually a big cost because we got no way of searching our water energy, and we only have 4 copies of that water. We already used 1 for our Dragonite, and I think we probably discarded 1 from our hand with the early Peony. So that means we have 1 last water energy inside the deck, and we couldn't get it out. We have no search. We have a lot of cards left inside the deck. So eiscue couldn't attack after that crushing hammer. We survived the first one, but the second hammer actually got the discard, and we couldn't win against Miltank just because of that discard. So that's why I added a Cologne in this deck. And right after adding that item, we didn't get a matchup against 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔. I wanted so bad to kill 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔, but we couldn't do it. 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔 is just crazy though. I hate that deck so much. Like, it's way too broken. Why isn't there a counter for that card? I mean, if we play Tool Jammer, we can probably kill a 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔 quite easily. So Tool Jammer and Giga Impact is enough. Tool Scrapper, Giga Impact. I mean, it's pretty easy, right? And we can do Shred to kill the Miltank, but it's not doing a lot of damage, only 50. They could play like heal cards for the Miltank, and then, you know, the Cape of Toughness on it as well. I would love to see someone play Amazing Rare Yveltal to kill a 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔. That would be so cool because you're not doing any damage, you're doing an effect to kill a 300 HP V card. I hate that card so much. 300 HP, how broken is that? And they're doing so much damage. It's just ridiculous. If you force them to heal every single turn, they have to discard their energies though, so it's not really perfect. I think just because this deck is so niche, is targeting those VMAX and VSTAR decks is so narrow in terms of the matchup that we want to be focusing on. We can't actually win against 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝒐𝒅𝒔 just because of that. And especially if they're playing a solid 3 line of Miltank, I don't think we can win. Because they have Choice Belt for Miltank. I keep calling it Choice Belt. Cape of Toughness. And there we go, another Miltank on the bench. It's really... I'm sick of that card. We actually got a boss from the prize on the last turn, and we won the game with a Zacian knockout. We got our Giga Impact to do the final kill, doing 250 damage for a Zacian V knockout. So thank God they didn't do a cape on the Zacian. I don't think they are playing cape for an Arceus VSTAR deck. So they got Shaymin VSTAR, Arceus, and Shadow Rider. They got Tornadus for the support, Bibarel, Crobat. Pretty interesting. A very kind of a mix of cards. Sometimes playing a mix is really cool because it targets a lot of different decks, but you know, I don't really like it just because the more versatile, the more flexible a deck is, that means the less power it has. You know, the less flexible, the more power you have. It's basically a balance, isn't it? The more muscle power you have, the less flexible you are. The more flexibility you have, the less muscle power you have. You can't have it both ways. You can't be like super strong and like good against all matchups, unless if you're playing a meta, obviously. You can't have it both ways. It's impossible. Even the meta decks have weaknesses. Like Palkia is weak towards Lightning deck. You have no counter against Raichu. You cannot win against Lightning decks, period. Palkia is useless against lightning decks. Unless if you play Miltank or like Starmie doesn't do much. Like, it doesn't do much. I'm sorry. Like, you can one-shot any of their water Pokemons. They're done. Dialga, you just need to boss it early, right? If you boss it early, they can't Metal Saucer fast enough. Dialga with Mew is kind of trash, because once they run off their Metal Saucer, if you do a boss early, then they are screwed. If you keep doing a boss, they're done. So I'm pretty sure Dialga needs a Diancie. Like a Mew and a Diancie, right? Mew Turbo Mew with Diancie as well, because if you do Turbo Mew, they can quite easily do a boss to kill you before you even get to do Star Chronos. It's a bit silly. I would say it's a bit of a silly strategy, but everyone's like, oh wow, it's working so well. It's trash. The thing is, they get to do it on the second turn though. If they do like a super fast draw, if you don't boss them on your second turn, then they can Star Chronos already. I suppose that's probably the main strong point of it. But you only got 4 cups of Metal Saucer and you're basically gambling to draw them out into your hand. If you don't get it though, if you don't get it by your second turn, if you don't get it that early, if you don't evolve on your second turn, you only got a limited amount of cards to search for your V-Star. You can't fit in that many V-Star as well. You can't fit in that many cards just because you need a lot of your items, you need a lot of your Metal Saucer, you need a lot of ways, tracking shoes to draw your item. So you can't actually fit in everything. It's not perfect. You need to search for your energy, you need to discard it, you need to discard enough energy as well. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous. Okay, we got our Stormy Mountain and Incense with our Peony. So we did Lumineon to search for a Peony, which is going to compress our deck by 4 cards instead of only 3 with Adventurous Discovery. So Adventurous Discovery removes 3 Pokemons from the deck, whereas Peony removes 2 Trainer and 2 Pokemon. So that's a total of 4 cards removed that are not energies, allowing us a max 7 attachment this turn. We get to attach 7 lightning energies, and we're doing 270 on with our Boltund VMAX early, which is great. I don't think they can kill the V-Star with Samurott, because Samurott is not doing that much, even with the damage counter ability. So they're doing like 4 damage counter with 220. If they do a Choice Belt though, they can actually kill us. So I forgot about Choice Belt, my bad. 220 plus 4 damage counter and a Choice Belt is actually enough to knock out the Dragonite. So 270 damage with Boltund is not quite enough to kill a VMAX or an Arceus, but it is just right to kill the Hisuian starter, the Hisuian Decidueye, Samurott, and Typhlosion V-Star. They all have 270 HP. Okay, we're gonna search for Adventurous Discovery probably. Well, we should be doing Peony, right? We should be switching and attacking already. So let's get our switch, Escape Rope, or maybe switch boss. Oh, we actually search for a switch boss. Okay. We're gonna do Bolt Storm for an early knockout. Not too early because it's already our 3rd turn. It is a bit late. And they still have not done their attack yet. They should be doing Dark Patch and the V-Star move already. Always better to attack with VMAX first because it can actually tank damage. It can survive a few turns. And if they don't kill your Dragonite, you can actually do more and more damage with Bolt Storm. So they need their boss. If they don't get it, they are basically screwed. I think they did research already. Okay. They got no Samurott on the bench, so if this one is knocked out, they need either the Moltres or a Hoopa, probably a Moltres, to counter our VMAX on the next turn. Even the one price Moltres would be enough, but I think they actually played the V card, so let's just compress the deck to help us draw out either the energy or our switch cards, because we actually need our water energy right now. We couldn't bench the Boltund, that means we can't attack with Bolt Storm for the next turn. We got no energy switch, we got no way of charging up the next one to attack. The basic Boltund can actually do Bolt Storm as well for 10 base damage, so you're doing 20 less, but you know, you're doing the same amount of extra energy, so extra damage. So for each extra energy, for each lightning energy you have in play, you get to do 30 extra damage. Okay, Dark Patch on the Moltres, Dire Flame Wings, and they got a free hit, 210 damage, sorry, 220 with Aura Burn. And they're giving us a training card, but we got no water energy in our deck, in our discard pile. So all 4 water energies is still inside the deck. I'm pretty sure we're gonna top deck it by now, but you never know. So maybe 1 energy search would be better for this list. If we don't get our water energy, we're kind of screwed. We need to be we should be putting the Menifee in the active if we got no water energy. So let's just put the Lumineon, because we actually need to attach it from our hand. If we get it, we're going to attach it to the Dragonite and retreat to attack. If we don't get it, we're going to retreat to Menifee. There we go. So Lumineon is actually helping us in a way. We didn't get it, we are basically screwed for 1 turn. They got only 220 damage though. If they do a boss, they got like 2 price early. I think we actually did our Dragonite. I think we actually attacked with Dragonite, the basic one, because it has 230 HP and it can actually tank enough damage to prevent the knockout, unless if they do a scoop on the Zigzagoon. So it's actually not wise to do that, because they could quite easily do a scoop on the Zigzagoon and then kill something else on the next turn, and that would mean they actually win the game on their turn. Like 1 turn is all it takes, right? If they got the scoop, and they win. So it wasn't actually that wise to put the Dragonite 4th. Well, not this turn. They have to do it on the next turn, my bad. Because this turn they're doing 220. On the next turn they get to do the Zigzagoon knockout and collect an extra prize with, you know, a second Moltres or something. They're probably gonna do a boss anyways, right? So let's just give them like 2 prize, partial 2 prize. They need to work their way through the deck to search for that Scuba Net. They need to, forcing them to work hard for that 1 knockout. No scoop means you can't knock out the Dragonite. So are we gonna retreat, or are we gonna do escape rope and the boss for the Moltres knockout? We should be killing the Moltres, so let's deny them the energy and then retreat to Boltund. Bad thing about retreating is that if they play a Crobat VMAX on the next turn, we got our escape rope boss though for the last prize, but if they do like a Marnie and a VMAX evolution, then Boltund is not doing a knockout. So we actually chose to do the retreat. That means we're doing only 100 plus damage with our Bolt Storm. 180. If we did the escape rope, if they have a Crobat VMAX, we can actually do a knockout by attaching 1 energy, because we have 9 energy passing the turn, and well, we have 8, and then on the next turn we get to attach an extra 1. That's a total of 300 damage with Bolt Storm. So we got the boss, they're done. They didn't do silent, because they know we have a escape rope probably in our hand. Playing a Dragonite deck, So Dragonite is actually pretty silly because it only does 250 damage for 4 energies, and you can't attack on the next turn. It has 2 energy retreat, is quite bad. That's why you don't see people building Dragonite decks anywhere. On YouTube, people just ignore that V-Star. It is a V-Star. It should be more powerful than this. Like, come on, you can't attack on the next turn, and you need so much energy doing only 250. Are you serious? Dragonite is trash. Even with Hawlucha, you're not doing a knockout against a VMAX. You get to play Radiant Blastoise with it though. I actually thought about Radiant Blastoise, but decided to just focus on Boltund. So you can do Tornadoes, you can do nothing but Dragonite, and then Choice Belt, Hawlucha. Well, if you do Hawlucha, you can't do Blastoise, because they are both Radiants, my bad. So if you do Blastoise, you're only doing 280 plus 2 damage counter, that's 300. So you need to play Tornadoes to gust it onto the bench, and then discard a water for 2 damage counters on their bench Pokemon, because you only get to place it on the bench with your Radiant Blastoise. But even that is not enough, so you need like something like a O Cemetery for extra damage counters, or even, I don't know, I have no idea. Rocky Helmet doesn't work because you need Choice Belt. Okay, we're gonna do Quick Ball for our Dragonite. We should be doing Lumineon though. Oh, we actually got Manaphy. Okay, we got Dragonite already, my bad. We already have a Dragonite in our hand. Sorry, on our bench. They're playing Jolteon, that's why we got the Manaphy out. Feather Ball for Jolteon. I forgot Jolteon is free retreat. I keep forgetting that. Jolteon has 0 retreat. Flying Pikachu as well. Flying Pikachu, Mew VMAX, Feather Ball. I love that card. It's so unusual, but it doesn't actually work that well though. Like, so only few cards have 0 retreat. I don't think you get to use it that easily. We actually played Feather Ball for our Zapdos Widear deck. If you guys want to check it out, it's in our channel. Widear V with Galarian Zapdos for the Strong Legs charge, getting a lot of energies into the game, and then switching to reattach those energies onto the Widear with the Frontier Road ability, and then do Psyshield Bash for 40x damage for each for each energy. It doesn't matter what energy. If you have double turbo, you get to do it as well. So for each energy attached to your Widear, you get to do 40x damage. And we're attaching with our Bay onto our Galarian Zapdos because it's a fighting type. And we get to attach with Strong Legs Charge. We get to play our Stadium to remove Path to the Peak, because if they play Path to the Peak, you cannot do your Frontier Road. Widear has no ability. So we have our Pumpkaboo to remove that. We even have a lot of our Stadiums as well. It's a pretty consistent deck, pretty powerful, but if you're up against one price, I don't think you stand a good chance, sorry to say. If they play Miltank, you stand a good chance, a really good chance, just because if they don't play Dunsparce, if they don't get it at the right time, Zapdos can actually do a knockout. It can do 70 multiplied by 2, and that's enough to kill a Miltank without a cape with 1 strike. Okay, let's focus on the game right now. They have Cursula for the damage counter placement, and then they got Jolteon. A really cool list, right? Because they got Cursula for the ability, and also Hollow Missile does 3 damage counter on one of your bench. And then all they need to do is Max Thunder Rumble on the next turn for 200 damage every single turn. If they got like Choice Belt or Telescopic Sight, they got to do 230 total damage, but they need the Elemental Badge though, I suppose. Cursula needs 2 energies. Jolteon needs 1 energy with the Toll card. They're not playing any other Pokemon, so no other supports. Quite surprisingly, no Crobat. They have nothing but Jolteon and Cursula. They got O Cemetery to place even more damage counters. Horror Energy, I don't think they have Horror Energy, my bad. So we have to think really carefully. Are we going to attach to the Boltund, because they can kill us if we attach to our active right now, we actually got a research for this list. So this is a very different list. This is the very first build of our Dragonite Boltund combo. We are trying to attack with Dragonite as well. That's why we have our choice belt. I eventually decided to add nothing but Peony and Adventurous Discovery because we want to be focusing. I keep repeating that, but I really love to feature Draconic Star with Boltstorm. That would make this video so cool. Okay, here comes Max Thunder Rumble. We got a Manaphy already. We don't need to worry about that. They may just do a boss. No boss. So we're safe for another turn. They only do 100 on the active. So let's just play our Dragonite. Are we gonna do Draconic Star? We haven't used our V-Star attack yet. Or are we gonna do Giga Impact? So, bad thing about this game is that if they play a Zigzagoon, they can actually kill us with 2 strikes. And if we don't do Draconic Star right now, if we do it too late, we don't have a second Dragonite. We do have it, but well, we can actually do Draconic Star with the second Dragonite. So let's do Giga Impact right now. But unfortunately, they played a Cheryl at the perfect time. They just recovered all the damage. That is depressing. That's really depressing because we did nothing for an entire turn, nothing but wasting that one supporter on our opponent's end. And here comes another Thunder Rumble. They need to deal with the Manaphy though. It is a big problem for them. Okay, we gotta switch to the Dragonite and do our Draconic Star. Bad thing about that is that if they do a boss and a Zigzagoon, they can kill our Dragonite to cut down, to remove 3 energies, 3 lightning energies, and reduce by 90 the amount of damage we're doing with Boltstorm. So that's the bad thing. But let's just focus on this one right now. We're not attaching that many just because, oh, we actually got 7 though. I think we probably draw out a lot of cards from the deck with our supporter cards just now. So it's actually pretty risky because we don't have that many. I think we only have 21 lightning energies instead of 25. And that means we can't attach that many using Draconic Star. So for this game we got pretty lucky because we got like 7 energies. Only 6 lightning, but 7 is a solid number because now Boltund can kill anything. We still need to survive a turn though. If Dragonite doesn't survive on the next turn, if they do a Zigzagoon and boss, then we're down to much less. Okay, they did the Manaphy. They did the Manaphy. That means we're safe for 1 turn, and that's all it takes to do Boltstorm for a VMAX knockout. So they need 3 prizes after the Manaphy knockout. If they don't kill Boltund on the next turn, they can't win the game, right? I think their best bet is to do another boss to deal with the other Dragonite. Because the first Dragonite, well, to deal with the first one, my bad. Because once that one dies, we are not doing a knockout anymore. We can only do a Cursula kill, but we can't kill the Jolteon VMAX that easily. 330 damage, that's great. Okay, now they're doing 200 damage with Max Thunder Rumble. That's a lot. Do they have a Zigzagoon? Come on, play a Zigzagoon. That would be much more interesting. Nothing but Cursula. Cursula doesn't work that well anymore in Standard, unfortunately. Because we got Path to the Peak. And you are passing the ball to your opponent, kind of the same as your Phalanx V. on your opponent's turn, they get to play the stadium and deny you your ability, right? If it's something like 𝑑𝑗𝑠r, you get to play your stadium, you get to discard path on your turn, and then activate your ability because you're using the ability on your turn. Whereas for 𝒃𝒏𝒏, you're using your ability on your opponent's turn, which is kind of bad because we got path now. Like, it just doesn't work, sorry. 250 damage, killed a 𝒃𝒏𝒏 with a Bird Keeper and Escape Rope, I think. I think we did a boss. I don't know what we did right there. Escape Rope, they would have retreated to the VMAX, right? But we actually killed the 𝒃𝒏𝒏 for the final knockout. We could actually do another VMAX kill, probably with the Boltund again. Okay, right now we're up against Logan. Not sure what deck he's playing. They got a Mewtwo deck box and a deck sleeve, a Mewtwo coin as well. I'm not sure if that's the Pokemon Go coin, but that Mewtwo coin looks really, really cool. Look at that, it's so beautiful. Our Dragonite coin is like outdated because it's so old. It's from Sun and Moon. Not really too old, but it feels very old. Just because I've been playing the theme tournament for so many months now. I actually stopped playing the theme tournament for a long time. Just because, you know, I've played it a lot of months before this, but I actually stopped a long time ago, like since last year probably, just because it didn't get me a lot of packs. Like theme tournament, even if I have a lot of tickets, I don't think I'm gonna go to the theme tournament. I'm probably gonna just gamble on the standard tournament with one of my powerful decks and showcase them on one of my YouTube channels, one of my YouTube videos, because it's better to just use those tickets to make a video than to use those tickets to earn those packs, because you're probably not gonna get any packs with your theme format. Theme format is very fair. No mistake about that. Make no mistake, theme format is fair in terms of matchup, but well, it's not really in terms of matchup. They're probably going to give you very difficult matchups. If you are playing Charizard, they're going to match you up with Dragonite. If you're playing Dragonite, they're going to match you up with Empoleon. So it's still quite fair in a sense, just because you have a counter for any deck that you're up against. If you're playing theme, there's always a way you can win. There's always a chance of winning whatever deck that you play, unless if you're playing like from X and Y Sword and Shield, sorry, X and Y Black and White. If you're playing anything lower than Empoleon, anything lower than Groudon, I forgot what the deck is called, but anything lower than Groudon doesn't work. So don't play XY decks, Black and White decks, Sun and Moon even. You need to play those latest expansions, right? Latest theme decks. So if you play like those theme decks, you actually stand like 50-50 chance of winning, I would say. But if you're smart enough, if you have a lot of experience, you have like 80-20 chance of winning. You have 80% of winning every single matchup, just because, you know, it really depends on an experience. But the longer you play, the longer you have an account for, the more they're gonna screw you over. Like, they're gonna give you a horrible, impossible hand. They're gonna give you impossible hand every single turn, and you just lose every single tournament. It's impossible to win anymore. Like, I've played so many tournaments now that they decided to screw my hand over every single game. Now I'm getting 0 packs for every theme tournament that I play. I'm no longer gonna invest any of my tickets. No more tickets for theme format. Fuck that. Theme format sucks. Because I know how the game works. If you have an account for more than 2 years, they are not gonna give you any win for your theme format, for the theme tournament. No more. Because guess what? You get free packs. You get Astro Radiance, the latest packs, which you don't have to buy for, in the theme tournament. You can collect your tickets, you can go there and you can get like the latest set packs. You can trade for V-Star VMAXs, which is crazy. That's why they are limiting it so much. They're limiting those experienced players from getting those packs because they know how precious they are. They know how valuable they are. So I'm no longer playing theme format. Bye bye theme format. You suck. Impossible hands, guys. I can't deal with that. Nothing but energies, nothing but Pokemons. I mean, like, seriously? Okay, right now we actually get to showcase our 𝑖cue for this game. They're playing nothing but basic Lunatone. The basic Lunatone Soul Rock combo. No Mewtwo VSTAR. So we actually get to showcase Block Phase, and they actually conceded though. Look at that. They conceded against an 𝑖cue. So I don't think they have enough boss because they probably discarded a few with Pokestop. They need to do escape rope and a boss order to deal with that 𝑖cue, and I think we actually have a rod. We have a rod for that list to recycle that one 𝑖cue copy. We only have one copy though, but if it shows up at the right time, it's gonna do a lot for you. So the final list has no rod, just because we want to be, you know, again, I'm repeating myself. We want to be showcasing our Boltund and Draconic Star. I love that V-Star attack. I love the name, Draconic. It should be an ability though, honestly. Like, wouldn't that be better? If it's an attack, you're wasting an entire turn. It's a colorless energy though, it's not bad, but it really should be an ability. If they play Path, you just need to play your stadium card, Stormy Mountain, the obvious stadium. You could play Rose Tower if you're doing Peony. I thought about that, but you know what? I eventually decided against it just because Stormy Mountain works better. Maybe one Stormy and one Rose Tower, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, right now we're up against another Cursola deck, but they actually have no Jolteon. They have the proper Cursola now. They got the solid Cursola combo, the damage counter, punishment, a full-on punishment deck. Arctozolt, Horror Energy. They don't have Rugged Helmet, apparently. They got Cape of Toughness instead. Hollow Missile, Old Cemetery. No helmets. Crushing Hammer and Team Yell probably. So they got Marnie. And we actually get to play our Cologne, but we forgot to do it. So had we been smart enough on that turn, we would have played our Cologne. But I suppose we were saving it for a Miltank. You never know if your opponent has a Miltank in your deck. Like, it's just that annoying. It could just show up at the last second. They could just bench a Miltank at the last minute, and then wall once you've done all of your bosses, once you've played all of your Colognes, once you've exhausted those resources, play a Miltank at the last minute to win the game. That's how silly this game is. That's how retarded this game is. You can't just win with nothing but one single copy of Miltank. That's just ridiculous. Miltank is stupid. Miltank is fucking stupid. Miltank is just stupid. They're making the game so dumb. Altaria is a stage 1. Is okay. Because it's a stage 1. It really should be a stage 2. Like, it's still okay if it's a stage 1. But a basic? Like, no, you don't get to do that. A basic? Are you serious? This game is so ridiculous. There's no counter for it, right? If you play a full V deck, there's just no counter. You need your Cologne, you need Phoebe, like, it's just impossible. I hate it so much. Miltank is so stupid. Reggie is even worse though. Like, I hate all the meta decks. I'm sorry, I just hate them. It sucks. It sucks when you lose to them because they are that consistent. They're really consistent and it's really depressing. There's nothing you could do about it. Just because they're playing all the new cards, right? And it is meant to be consistent because, you know, they are pulling off all the new combos, using all of the, you know, the meant to be, the cards that are meant to be, to make that attack work, to make that ability work. And not only do they have all the new supports, they have all the old supports as well. They got all the new item tool and, you know, all the new energies, all the new trainer cards that they get to use. They got all the old stuff they get to use as well. They got capture energy, aurora energy, speed energy. They get to use you know, stadium cards, stormy mountain. It's just insanity. It's gonna get rotated though. I'm so happy that Regigigas is gonna get killed. No more powerful energy, no more capture, no more aurora, no more speed energy. How are you gonna survive that? How are you gonna survive that? Bye bye Regigigas. It's not even doing a knockout against V-Stars. You need like super effective glass or choice belt with the weakness. If you are not hitting the weakness, if they're playing like a grass type or a what do you call that, a fighting type, they don't have a psychic. So if they play a fighting type or a psychic type, they don't have a darkness. There's a lot of types that they don't get to hit a lot of weakness. Okay, we actually have a lot of damage counters on all of our Pokemon right now. It's not looking too well for us. They got no cards in their hand though. So 2 damage counter left on Boltund. This is looking quite bad. Hollow Missile is gonna kill us on the bench if they do Escape Rope, but they don't have energy. If they play Research and then Escape Rope, attach, retreat, then they can actually kill us. So they got like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage counter punishment. So we have to place 7 damage counter with our, you know, for each energy we attach from our hand. And then we have to place even more with that Horror energy once we attack them. Each time we attack their Cursula. So they actually conceded because apparently they got nothing. They got no hand, only a cape. So I think we should be doing like Quick Ball for Lumineon, and then search for a Peony for a switch or Escape Rope, and then kill the Cursula with our Dragonite. I think we should be doing a switch with Peony because Dragonite has a water energy. It can actually do 250 to kill the Cursula. And that actually means we don't have to, you know, we don't need to knock out our own Pokemon. Because if we attack with Boltund, they are doing a recoil of 20 damage with the Horror energy, and that means they get to draw 3 prize. And you never know what your opponent is going to get on the next turn. If they play like Raihan Research, they can really turn the tables with one single turn, or a Moltres even, Galarian Moltres. It's just insane. We got Radiant Charizard now. Radiant Charizard is the same as Moltres. You do Moltres does more damage for each prize your opponent take. Charizard requires less energy for each prize your opponent has taken. So it's kind of the same thing. 250 damage is a lot though. And you get to do Moltres to add even more damage. Charizard is madness. Radiant Charizard. And the trade cost is so high right now. I'm not sure if I even want it because it's like so expensive. I have enough packs to trade for it. I just don't really want to waste them. Okay, right now we're up against a Kyogre deck. Kyogre, Volcarona, and Cryogonal. We got our Manaphy from the get-go. We don't even need to search for it. We need our Peony to search for the Manaphy because we need our Quick Ball for that card. We can't actually do Adventurous Discovery for the bench barrier. Okay, we got 7 energies early in the game. That's great. 7 or 8 is probably the common number that you get to attach. 7, 8, and then +1 on this turn, plus another on the next turn. That's like at least 9 for 300 damage to kill a V-Star. So your first strike is definitely gonna be able to strike for a V-Star knockout or a V knockout. So obviously we need to play like a Quick Ball Lumineon for a boss, or Escape Rope even, Lumineon for Peony, Escape Rope, and then kill something else before we get to do a VMAX KO. Okay, Element Chain for water energy. We're gonna do escape rope. Like, we're just gonna do it. If we do a boss, it would be pointless, I would say. We could do a boss on the Volcarona, kill it early, but let's just save our boss for later. We're gonna Lumineon for a Peony, and then get another escape rope. We should be getting a Dragonite. So if we play a Peony right now, we're not gonna be able to evolve that one. So we don't actually have a Dragonite inside the deck, but we got our Boltund out of the way. That means we get to not only attack with the second Boltund, but also, you know, encourage our deck to give us other cards other than our Pokemon. New cards like energies or switch cards. We don't need a lot for this deck. We don't need a lot of things. We just need to play our V-Star attack early and then evolve fast, and that's all we need to do. Is a very simple deck. And simple always does the trick. So we had to retreat. That means we are forced to discard an energy. We get to do 300 damage, killing a Volcarona with one hit. And we don't need to do that much, honestly, because they're playing Kyogre. We got our boss for the price. Interesting. Aqua Storm doing 0 damage. 0 damage. And they chose to hit the Lumineon. Okay, we got our second Boltund VMAX ready to go, and they just conceded, so there we go. Kyogre is useless now. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.